Hi, I'm Alex. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If not, welcome back. I am a 24-year-old data analyst in the greater New York City area, specifically in northern New Jersey, and I work at a non-profit in higher education. I am going to be talking about something today. I can't believe I'm making this video, honestly. I have never once mentioned this on my YouTube channel at all. And it's something that last year at this time I would have been super embarrassed to sit down and talk about. So I know I'm not the only one who's been in this situation. If you saw the title, you obviously know what we're going to be talking about. I'm obviously not the only person who's ever been in this situation, so I thought that maybe if I put something out on the internet, maybe it could help some people. So, hi, I'm Alex, and I got rejected from a PhD program, I guess is a good way to start this. So last fall, I was pursuing my Master of Public Policy degree. I already have my Bachelor's in Political Science. I, at this point, have my Master of Public Policy, but I didn't at the time, as well as a graduate certificate in Public Financial Management. And like most people going through life, I couldn't find a job after undergrad, so I went to grad school, and I started to worry about what I was going to do after grad school. So I applied to a PhD program. I mean, like, why not, right? I am somebody who loves learning. I don't think that I will ever stop. And I wanted to go formalize that in the form of a doctorate. So I was personally looking at a Master of Public Administration program, a PhD program in public administration. Even though my master degree was in public policy, I really didn't want to go submit myself to essentially like being a data monkey for the rest of my life in public policy, because it's more stat heavy than actual like policy work heavy. And I specifically wanted to work in public finance, so I knew that public admin was going to be the route that I wanted to take. So what made me decide to apply? I talked to a lot of my professors, and they all thought that I would be a really good candidate for a PhD program. And my boyfriend was very supportive of me going to get a doctorate and helping financially through the process. And I was really excited. It was something that, it was really scary. It was a lot of work. And I was prepared to do the work that was going to be involved. In my master's program, we had just hired a new professor who had just finished her PhD program, so I spent a lot of time talking to her about her experiences and any advice that she had for me. Like I said, I spent a lot of time sitting down with my professors and just asking them what I needed to do to be prepared, and some of them helped me like talk through my research interests and figure out what I wanted to study, etc. So after I made the decision that that was the path I wanted to take, was 100% going to apply, I had to pick my program. Like I said, I decided ultimately to go into public administration, though I did have some professors fighting for me to go to economics, some fighting for me to go get a statistics degree. So there were a lot of things in my head, but I ultimately decided to apply for public administration at NYU and Rutgers. So that process, if you haven't applied for a PhD program before, it can be a little bit different than applying to undergrad. Definitely more similar to applying to grad school, but still a few extra steps. So, and every school is going to be different for this, but for NYU, the common thing to do for your applications is to do research on each of the faculty members and decide which that you would want to be your advisor through your PhD program, and reach out to them, introduce yourself, tell them you're interested in them being your advisor, just let them know that you're going to put their name on your application, essentially. And then you have to write a supplemental, like, personal essay. Sort of, again, it's going to be different for every school, but for the most part, describing why you want that particular PhD, how you think you can make a difference, and what that specific program can do for you. So my biggest piece of advice here is make sure you actually know, like, a lot of information about the programs and talk about the specifics in your personal essay, because those things will help you a lot. I think my essay for NYU was extremely generic because I was pretty set on going to Rutgers, and from what I had been told, I wasn't going to have an issue getting in at all. So, I was very surprised with my result. But anyways, you have to write this personal essay, and then you have to take the GRE. A lot of PhD programs are doing away with this right now, and if you took it for your master's program, obviously you don't have to retake it as long as it's been within the last 5 years. So I took the GRE twice. Both times were the, like, at-home virtual exam system, which was interesting, and I don't think they're doing that anymore, but it was interesting to take a 5-hour, like, test like that. But I took my GRE twice. I had pretty average scores. My personal essay, I would say, was pretty good, just maybe a little generic. And then I graduated my master's program with a 3.98 GPA, so I know my grades probably were not involved. I had also, when I applied, done one fellowship and was in the process of doing my second, and most of these programs want 3 to 5 years of experience, so know that before you apply, because that is one of the biggest reasons that people get rejected. I have sat down and talked to my boss at this point about applying to a PhD program and what it was like and how surprised I was to receive my rejection. And he said to me, "Alex, you didn't have any experience. What did you expect?" And I think that that is a really big thing. So now talking about actually the rejection process. So at the end of February of last year, all of these dates for when they have to notify you by is March 1st. The end of February of last year, I saw online that a lot of people were getting acceptances for PhD programs at NYU and at Rutgers, and I hadn't heard anything, so I went online and I checked my application and saw that I had been rejected from Rutgers, and it broke my heart. I'm talking, like, got on my knees, cried, could not speak because I was hyperventilating, like, it was not good, and I cried and honestly, like, felt pretty worthless for like 2 or 3 months daily. I had never been rejected from anything in my life. I got into every school I applied for undergrad. I had previously gotten every job I had ever applied for. Like, I had gotten everything that I, like, ever put my heart and soul into, so getting this rejection shattered me. But obviously you have to bounce back. So I threw myself into my last semester of grad school. I made sure I did really well and ended with a 4.0. Did a lot of work. Spent a lot of extra time on Zoom with professors, making sure that everything I was doing was correct. Making connections and networking to make sure that when it came time to get a job, if I needed one of these people to serve as a reference for me, that they would speak highly of me, and I'm happy to say that I was able to do that at least. And I really threw myself into the job process because I had sort of relied on the fact that I would be starting a PhD program in the fall. I maybe hadn't taken the job search as seriously as I should have in the beginning. Not to say I wasn't applying for jobs, because I started applying for things in November of 2020 and graduated in May of 2021. So it was a long period of time that I was applying for jobs, but I definitely started to take it more seriously around that time that I got rejected. So that was when I went from applying to maybe 1 job a day to 10 jobs a day, and really trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life that was going to make me happy. So what I found was that I was not researching in class for my additional projects the things that I said I was going to go into a PhD program and research. I wanted initially to be studying property taxes and how they correlate with goods and services that you are offered in a town, such as your quality of schooling and how fast emergency services respond and things like that. So that was where I was initially headed, was in that direction. But I found that every time I picked my own research topic, I was going to education policy. And this is something that I've been doing since I was, I don't know, 15, like in high school, served on the board of ed, big nerd, like have always loved education policy and have always been really passionate about that and making sure that that education is available for all and that people have equal opportunities to gain knowledge, because that is how the world is going to be the most successful. So once I started diving into that niche of the job search, obviously it narrowed down a lot more and I was able to find this job that I love so much now. And I'm actually, in the end, really happy that I got rejected, because I don't think I would have enjoyed studying public admin, and I still want to go get a PhD now. I'm gonna apply in 2 years when I have enough experience for them to accept me. But I know now that I want to go get a PhD in ed policy. Like, what, I don't want to go study something that I don't love, that's not my passion, that's not something that I gravitate towards naturally. So in the end, maybe getting rejected from a PhD program was the best thing that ever happened to me, even though it seemed tragic at the time. So if you're going through the same thing, I'm so sorry. I've been there. I know it sucks. I know how the feelings are. I know that you feel like you don't deserve anything. I know that you're in that mindset, and I want you to know that it's okay, and you're gonna get through this, and at the end, everything's gonna turn out the way that it's supposed to, and it'll be for a reason. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.